Welcome back to the channel, guys. So it's been like, I don't know, 3-4 weeks. We have the end of August. I had 3 weeks vacation. 1 week I was visiting family. The other week I was basically playing old school video games, and the third week I used to build some model kits. In today's video, I don't want to let the tank introduce itself and shit. I have a better intro planned where you can see parts of my stash. So take a drink, grab a bag of chips or whatever snack you prefer, and keep on watching the video. As you can see, the decals say that they are printed in 1996, so the model is about from the late 1990s or early 2000s. And it meets modern technology of 2024. What a surprise. Also, as you can see here, I'm not using the extra thin Tamiya cement, because this one ran out during a build of a Panther 3 that I just built for my Instagram page. And I had to resort to use some Italy glue that I think was from a World of Warships model kit, I'm not really sure, but at least I had it laying around. I have to mention here that the plastic was very fine and high quality, so it was very easy to do some flame mark scratches with your or my scalpel in that moment, and I really love how it turned out. You can see it right now. And during the build I choose to specifically build the Panther Ausf D, which is the early Panther that was used in the Battle of Kursk, because next year there's a video planned about this model as well. Here you can see me drilling out the gun barrel, which is a thing that you have to do on most Revel kits and mainly all 72nd scale kits that are post 2000s but pre 2015. Nowadays most kits come with like an side molded barrel that has a hole already, but it's a nice little detail and a nice little training for your eyes. So yeah. If you want to build it without, that's fine, but I choose to drill the holes, and sometimes it fails and sometimes it works well. Yes, I know I could buy some metal gun barrels for my models, but yeah, I didn't for the Panther. I don't plan to, at least for 1/72nd scale. 1/35th scale is something different, but that's a topic for the future pancake video. Without doing the mathematics, I can clearly say that this is the cleanest gun barrel drill out that I did so far, and it is perfect. Flawless, if I say so myself. Also, one thing that I didn't record, like with other 72nd scale models that I built, is the application of the tracks. I know it's a part that some people would love to see, how I, with my 20% eyesight, apply those tracks. But honestly, for this kit I choose not to. Well, with every kit I choose not to. But I do have something planned, which is, at least the chassis is a Panther 3. And there I can safely show you how to add the tracks and how I deal with those and with the leftovers in my storage area, which is mainly just a little box where I keep some spare parts. And after applying the glue that didn't really want to work, I can safely say I'm lucky to have found some refill glue after this build. So now we are already at the stage where I apply the primer. Yes, I didn't record how I put on the side skirts, how I managed to bend them, the tracks I told you before, and the PE pods, I didn't record that as well. You wanna know why? I tell you why. Because I managed to have an very low battery on my phone and had to charge my phone and didn't want to stop the building on this evening, so I went straight through and was like, yeah, you know what, just explain it in the video. For the primer of the model, I'm using Tamiya LP18. I know it is supposed to be Hull Red, but it's the perfect red primer for German World War II armor, late war armor. And after we cover the model in a, pretty luxurious amount of red, we have a nice red tank, which looks like a toy, not gonna lie. And now we are proceeding to add the main color, which is dark yellow. The dark yellow in question is Tamiya XF88 Dark Yellow 2. Tamiya is my go-to color for every model that I build. Maybe in the future I try other colors from AK or Valero that are airbrush ready and are suited for German armor, but for now we stick with Tamiya, which is the best, in my opinion, best color that you can use on such easy models. What I also didn't record was the application of color stop. Well, it was boring, it was just using some color stop on a tank to mask off the areas that I don't want to be painted in the camouflage scheme, with the camouflage color. Slight issue was that there are 3 parts that got ripped out, and with ripped out I mean like both paint layers got ripped out by the color stop. Like, how? It is supposed to protect the color and not rip it apart, but yeah. In the future I will try different methods again. Maybe I use some masking tape that I cut in but I cut into the lines and curves I want my camouflage to be. For now we have to stick with some color stop. For the next model that is approximately releasing in 1 or 2 weeks, I didn't use color stop, I did use some different type of masking, but stay tuned for that one. For now we have to live with the result of the color stop. So the green I apply in the background is Tamiya NATO green, and I mix it with like 1 or 2 drops of Tamiya buff. Wasn't my brightest idea, I know, but it somehow worked out in the end. As you can see, my color stop was not the best one to take off. Like, I worked with color stop before. I got it off way more easier than I did on this model. But maybe it's time for a change for some other liquid masking putty and throw the color stop into the trash once and for all. So after I got it off, you can see at the front blade there's one of the 3 spots I mentioned that were torn off. I went over this one with some paintbrush action, and that wasn't a good idea either. You can still see it on the model. So after spraying the tracks with Tamiya XF1, I proceeded to apply some Citadel Armageddon Dust texture paint on it. It's mainly used for Warhammer models, for like the crown plates or something, to give it some rough texture, some area, you know, some soil for your minifigures. But I thought it would work on the Panther as well. It actually did. I was very surprised. And then I went over with some Armageddon Black for the rubber parts on the wheels, which were then as well coated with some Armageddon Dust, and we got this nice little outcome. Also, the Citadel paint, well, the texture paint is very thick, so it clumps up and already forms on clumps, and as you can see on the road wheels, it makes for some interesting shapes. The figures were painted off screen because they were too small and I am very inexperienced with figure painting. And when I glued them to the model, it looked somewhat good. They didn't really fit, well, mainly because they weren't really made for the Ravel tank and more modern model kits, but yeah. You will see them next year again, so maybe I will add some more color to them, who knows. Also, when I applied the decals, there were one minor complications. Well, you see, the 134 I added on the right turret side somehow got lost. I don't know where it went. I checked my table, I checked under my table, nothing to see there. So yeah, the 134 was lost during the application of the decals, which is very sad, but it's the history of the model kit, so yeah. I can't really, I don't have a second Panther right now to add the 134, maybe in the future, but yeah. Also, I didn't really paint all the tools and boxes, towing cables. I was just lazy with the tank and went with the idea, you know what, it got oversprayed by the crew recently, just the numbers were added, some wooden parts were, well, removed or at least covered because they were easy to cover, and that's the entire idea behind this tank. And after the application of the decals, the last step was to gluing the 2 figures into place, and then I called it good. And that's it, folks. So the Panther has been finished. It was a fun little build that I could have put more time into it, but after the Panther, I was starting to build a Ferdinand, and after the Ferdinand was done, I was trying to build a plane, but it fell down and it broke. So yeah, no plane video for the, well, first 2 weeks of September, maybe for the last weeks of September, who knows. But for now, I can say I built a nice little Panther tank from the late 90s, early 2000s, Kit was around 8 euros on eBay without the extra parts. I had the extra parts laying around though way earlier. Yeah, nice little tank. I loved it. As I mentioned before, it might get a diorama next year, so stick around for the diorama part. Also, I have to admit, after building the Panther D, I'm buying the other versions of the Panther. If you remember, in my model shelf, there's already a Panther F with a very interesting camo and some bushes. I will build this one in 1/72nd scale again, but for a different project, a different diorama project. And Ausf A and G will be bought and built again in the future. Maybe also in 1/35th scale, who knows. But for now, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like if you love the model. Give me your opinions on the model in the comment section. Follow my Instagram on Dresden_scale models and have a very nice rest of your day.